See, I'm more like a priest and apostle. All the high and color a fossil. Read the Torah, it's more like a novel. Protect you when the things that get awful. Where your Z keep a bit be lawful. Fight the beast and the beast is colossal. Watch the wolf and cause so many to cost you. If you troll on the bridge, they'll cross you. Watch your friend in the end, he the one that'll pop you. Free will to every man, so how can I stop you? Keep commandments, so y'all really will crop you. When you own that go, just know he got you. Message is fair, let my people go. Harden your heart, he'll say no. Told him to scroll, watch it unroll. It's hot in hell, why it's so cold? I job from y'all to teach the glow. Before that, gotta cleanse your soul. One of the pledge to fall the toll. Don't forget to put blood on the door. I'ma tell you something that you might not know. Inhale it, rain and snow. Inhale, exhale, there you go. Rather young, rather rich, rather poor. If you want hot, drop down low. God said just let us go. Not from me, so you know. The future was already told. I highly suggest you let it go before we all unfold. Clean the house and the mouth is a mop. Ain't no op, show love to your op. Let your op, but y'all's on top. Shout out Abraham, shout out Enoch. Salak, shout out my pops. Gotta thank y'all for the Ruach.
Message is fair, let my people go. Harden your heart, he'll say no. Told him to scroll, watch it unroll. It's hot in hell, why it's so cold? My job from y'all to teach the glow. Before that, gotta cleanse your soul. One of the pledge to fall the toll. Don't forget to put blood on the door. I'ma tell you something that you might not know. Inhale it, rain and snow. Inhale, exhale, there you go. Brother young, brother rich, brother poor. If you want hot, drop down low. Y'all said just let us go.
I finally found a tool that actually helps in my day-to-day life as an entrepreneur. As a creator and a founder of a video agency, I'm writing constantly. Scripts, product docs, outreach, but everything's scattered and the context switching is killing me. Superhuman
Watikion, measure love and respect to my brother Yahuda. This is Chief Fighting Ram speaking from the heart of Chickasaw Moors, carrying the legacy of the Levites. Our tribe's history is woven deeply with Chickasaw nations, a sovereign indigenous nation standing firm with our own articles and government. As I stand here in Central Illinois, birthed in the roots of Western Tennessee, I feel the call, let my people go. It's time for us to rise, break the chains of oppression, and reclaim our narratives. We've been lost. They've whitewashed our history, but we can rewrite it. It's crucial that we dig deep and uncover who we truly are. Start with your lineage. Who are your parents, your grandparents, their parents, their parents? Gather that knowledge and own your history. They've taken so much from us, but we need to take back our freedom, our identity, our power. It's time to create our own corporations and let the trust that we established for us serve as our foundation. We've been misnamed, misidentified. Know this, you are not just Black, Negro, African American. You are a vibrant tapestry of multifaceted bloodlines, rich with history and culture. Once we embrace who we are, only then can we find true freedom. So let's rise together and dance in our liberation. Onay.
Celebrate Sabbath day, celebrate Passover. Now we celebrate Easter, not Passover. Call us Hebrew cause we passed over. Feed you food for thought till the fast over. We the people, we not sheeple, we not weak. If you speak your tongue, make sure I understand your speech. World we living on, so cold, I can't see the heat. If you keep your head down, only time you see the feet. Ain't no sleep on Killer Street, Killer's Creek without a peak. Can you separate a tear from the wheat? When you see, Father name was Israel, that's why we Israelites. Shout out to the high priest, shout out to the Nazarites. The Lord shall reach out his hand for the second time. Recover the remnant of the people who was left behind. Watch your watch, mind your mind. One for 1,000 years, This time we own this time. Assemble the outcasts and gather all the dispersed. Most of everything you see, it'd be right if it was reversed. Did a whole 180, turn our back to the earth. Each month really 30 days, time to cycle the earth. If you sing for gladness and always get praise. Oh, y'all say your people, we living like slaves. Rest in peace to the brave, walk the roads that was paved. It's the difference between the slave and the maid that was paid. We not visitors here, how you think it was made? Yeah, the system made off fear, so don't be afraid. Stuck in the maze, 40 nights and 40 days. Don't be amazed, you can still see the light in the shade. Get it right or we spin again and again, transgressing again, the reason we sin. Don't pretend to your friend, don't be as the wind, endure to the end, don't break or don't bend, it don't matter, just stay strong and don't shatter. Y'all gather, all of the people that been scattered, it's sadder, can't climb up a broke ladder, weak bladder, pissing on idols so die faster, the Ruach Kadash, my crew out in Mars, we much more than people that shoot out in cars, but do got the bars to put you behind the bars. They want the hustle killing and all the slime bars. In reality, that's that put us behind the bars. Stepping on broken bottles, used to live behind bars. We're benevolent and we relevant, and it's evident. Descendants of eternal intelligence, heaven sent, go against Yah, definite. It was a setup, never settled from the settlement. First water, then fire, death by different elements. Passing the test was a testament for my betterment. Don't be a pessimist, be strong, not delicate. Can't multiply, be fruitful and celibate.
Praise Yah. Hallelujah. It's your boy Yahudah.
Stranded for years. How did we get here? T.O.T. We've been stranded for years.
T.O.T. We've been stranded for years. Praise Yah. Hallelujah. It's your boy Yahudah. And I'm back with another episode of Word of Mouth. Let me correct the correction. Allow me to correct the correction, guys. Please allow me to correct the correction. Praise Yah. Hallelujah. It's your boy Yahudah. And I'm back with another episode of Word of Mouth. Much love and respect to everybody who's viewing. I really appreciate you. Much love and respect to all the Word of Mouth supporters and listeners and viewers as well. I pray that you and your family are increased abundantly. In the midst of your coming and going, I appreciate you. If it's morning, evening, or night, I appreciate you tuning in. This is another episode of Word of Mouth. I want to give major love to Abraham. I want to give big ups to Abraham, our forefather. And to start it off, I'm going to start it off with a scripture. 2 Chronicles 20:7. Don't meet me there, beat me there. We're gonna go 2 Chronicles chapter 20, verse 7. We're gonna go 2 Chronicles chapter 20, verse 7. I'm gonna bring this up on YouTube. Give me 1 second. Everybody else, meet me at 2 Chronicles chapter 2, verse 7. 2 Chronicles chapter 2, verse 7. The book of 2 Chronicles chapter 2, verse 7. Don't meet me there, beat me there. 2 Chronicles chapter 2, verse 7. And it reads, send me also, Salakia, 20 and 7, Salakia, 20 and 7, chapter 20, verse 7, Salakia. I want 2 Chronicles chapter 20, verse 7. 2 Chronicles chapter 20, verse 7. Didst not thou, Elohim, drive out the inhabitants of this land before thy people Israel, and gavest it to the seed of Abraham, thy friend forever? So we're speaking about Abraham. And Abraham was called the friend of Yah. Yah is the one you call God, the Father, the Creator, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob called Abraham his friend. Huh? And that's in 2 Chronicles chapter 20, verse 7. Make sure you take notes of that. Because this shows us right here that Abraham wasn't a regular man. He wasn't just an ordinary man. The Most High referred to him as a friend. That's very significant. Let's try Isaiah 41 and 8. Let's try Isaiah chapter 41, verse 8. Isaiah 41 and 8. The book of Isaiah chapter 41, verse 8. I go the book of Isaiah chapter 41, verse 8. I go the book of Isaiah chapter 41, verse 8. But thou, Israel, my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. Con, it's very significant for the Most High to refer to you as his friend. Con, so the information I'm bringing out is about our ancestor Abraham. And just to give you a little information before we start, to let you know that the Most High refers to him as a friend. So everything about this person is trustworthy, is upright. This is good information. This is trustworthy information. You get it right now. I'm just letting you know right off the bat. Kind of. So kind of. This is an episode of Word of Mouth. And what are we talking about today? We're talking about Abraham. And from the evidence of 2 Chronicles 20 and 7 and Isaiah 41 and 8, we see that Abraham was referred to by the Creator himself as a friend. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there who love the Most High, who want to be in the good graces of the Most High, who want to be considered as a friend, kind of like Abraham. So I want you to take a walk with me through this information about Abraham, and let's see why he was considered the Most High friend. What kind of characteristics did Abraham have? What are the decisions and choices that he made in life? Because a lot of decisions and choices that you make are the same decisions that you made in the past. And if you was just to study this stuff, it'll help you in your future decisions. That's what this is about a lot too. It's about obeying. It's about law, statutes, and commandments. And it's about stories. And it's about stories that will help you in your story. So we're gonna go through these three. We're gonna go through these things. And I'm gonna bring out some things, guys. Genesis 18 and 20. Isaac. Okay, so we start out with his story, Abraham. Okay, we're gonna start out at Genesis 11. Genesis chapter 11, verse 20. Genesis chapter 11, verse 26. We're gonna go Genesis chapter 11, verse 26. Genesis chapter 11, verse 26. And Terah lived 70 years and begot Abram, Noah, and Haran. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram, Noah, and Haran. Haran begat Lot. So we see that Terah, that's that's Abraham's father. And Haran died in the presence of his father Terah and in the land of his native in Ur of Chaldees. So we see that Abraham was born in Ur of the Chaldeans. And Abraham and Noah took them wives. The name of Abraham's wife was Sarah, Sari. Now, we see that if you notice my title was Abraham, but in Genesis chapter 11, his name was Abram, Abram. So we see that these names at some point are getting changed, and we'll go through that as well. The Most High changed our name sometimes. My name was changed. I was born Andre. I was given when I was 13. I was in a rap group. I was given the name Wise, and I had Wise all the way up to I met some of my spiritual elders, and one of my elders named me Yahudah, and that's my name now. So all my names I was given. So just like this, Abraham's name was Abram at this time. His wife's name was Sarai, Saria, or Salakia, Sarai. So it wasn't it didn't end with an H, Sarah. It ended with an I, Sarai, in Genesis chapter 11. And we'll see later on these names will change. The Most High changed our name for different reasons, and he explains why. So we see that Abraham's father was Terah, and his wife's name was Sarai. And he was born in the Ur of the Chaldees. So it's very important to know the beginning of these things. It's very important to know the beginning of these things. And let me show that one more time. So we see that Abraham's name was Abram at this time. We see his father was Terah, and Abram was born in the Ur of Chaldees, and his wife was Sarah. And the name of Noah's wives. So that's going off into them, but we see that this is the beginning. Because later in the story, it's a lot that goes on with his wife. So this is very important concerning that part of it as well. So I want to drop down because after that, Yah caused Abram to leave his country and his family, promising to make his descendants a great nation. And this is Genesis chapter 12, verse 1 through 3. Let's check that out. Genesis chapter 12. So go Genesis chapter 12. We're gonna stay in Genesis throughout this whole video. Genesis, we're gonna go Genesis chapter 12. We're gonna start at verse 1. Now Yah said unto Abram, get thee out thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto the land that I will show thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and be thy a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and him that curseth thee I will curse. And in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. So Abram went as Yah had spoken to him, and Lot went with him, and Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. So it's a couple things with this right here that I want to point out. It's a couple things with this I want to point out, guys. There's a couple things I want to point out with this. So let's start off with the first thing is when the Most High, because this is a story based upon Abraham, the father of all of our nations, came through Abraham. And the story that he goes by is very important as it is, but it's also a spiritual principle behind all of this stuff as well, for you to learn and for you to live by. So, like right here, like when it said, now Yah said to Abram, go thee out the country and from the kindred of thy father's house unto the land that I will show thee. So Yah was giving him instruction at this time to, leave out your father's house and go. So basically, this kind of like saying, leave your parents' house and go out into the unknown and find your own way. If anybody who moved on their own, they know this is the scary time in life where you don't know what to expect. This is pure faith here. Verse 2, and I will make of thee a great nation. I will bless thee and make thy name great and be thy a blessing. The Most High promised to make his nation great. And he said he will bless thee to make a great name. So this is a promise here. Verse 3, and I will bless them that bless thee. So all the people that bless us is going to be a blessing upon yourself. Anybody watching this video, if you bless our people, you're going to get blessed. And him that curseth thee I will curse. So when all of the people that go against us, the Most High going to defend us. And indeed shall all families on the earth be blessed. All families blessed through Abraham. This is why everybody can connect itself back to him when you look at history. If you go around the world and look at everybody's history, it'll be a person named Abraham, or that it might not be their name, but it'll be that person all through history. Everybody have records of it. So Abraham went, and Yah had spoken to him, and Lot went with him, and Abraham was 75 years old when he departed. So look, this is the key thing, guys. When Yah give you a mission, do the mission. When Yah give you a mission, do it. Don't worry about if anybody else understands the mission. As long as you understand the mission, make sure that you carry out the mission. That's very important. You can't do nothing until you attempt it. If you don't attempt it, you can't do anything, guys. So it was very important that he did what Yah said. And keep this in mind, 75 years old. he was called to do his beginning. He was in the beginning of his work. He was 70 something years old. So sometimes you got to wait for this stuff. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen when you want. It can happen when you're 70 years old. Because it happened to Abraham. It happened to Abraham when he was 70 years old, guys. So, okay, so we see, and then we see Lot was with him. And then he departed when he was 75 years old. So from there, we're going to take it to verse 5, verse 4 and 5. Let's see. Let's take a look. So we went to verse 4 and 5. Verse 5, and Abraham took Sarah his wife and Lot his brother's son. So Lot is Abraham's brother's son. They're cousins. So, so that's his cousin. That's his brother's son. And all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran, and they went forth to go in the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. And Abraham passed through the land unto the place of Shechem, unto the tavern of Moreh, and the Canaanite was in the land. And Yah appeared unto Abram and said, unto thy seed will I give this land. And he built there an altar unto Yah who appeared unto him. And he removed from thence unto the mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west, and Ai on the east. And he built there an altar unto Yah, and called upon the name of Yah. And Abram journeyed, going on still towards the south. And there was a famine in the land. And Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was sore in the land. We deal with a lot of famines in the past and now. This is something that you should always be prepared for. Always prepare for famine. Always prepare for these type of things. It's going to potentially happen. You see, when he pitched that tent and he made the altar, everything was specific. You see, he had, he was, had to pitch the tent, having Bethel on the west, having Ai on the east, and having built the altar, making Lord. So everything was specific. That's the thing about Yah, and that's the thing about the priest, and that's the thing about altars and things of that nature. Everything is very specific. Don't mess with this stuff if you don't know what you're doing. This altars and things of that nature is set apart for the priest. If your spirit ain't called to that, you don't know what you're doing, don't deal with it. I'm just warning you. Verse 11, and it came to pass when he was come near to enter Egypt, that he said unto Sarah his wife, behold now, I know that art a fair woman to look upon. And it come to pass when the Egyptians shall see it, they shall say, this is his wife, and they will kill me. But they will keep alive. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me or thy sake, and that my soul may live because of thee. So now we see early on I brought out that that Abraham went with his dad, but he also brought his wife Sarah with the eye. So right here we see that it was a huge famine. So Abram went into the land of Egypt because it was a huge famine in the land of Canaan. So when he went to Egypt, he realized that there was a lot of dangerous people there that probably would try to kill him and take his wife, because that's the type of wicked people that was back then. But they, people wicked like that now, but this is what was going on here. So Abraham asks her to say that that she's his wife. I mean, she's his sister. Now, when you read the story, she was his sister, but it wasn't in the incest type of way. So he wasn't lying here, but it wasn't. She was his wife, but she was his sister, but not in the incest way. Um, let me um, let me bring that information out. Give me 1 second. A lot of people say that this was some incest type of stuff, and it was not. And so basically, the scriptures is against incest. A lot of people say that that's not. This is not accurate because Sarah was so basically she was a half sister by a different mother. Uh, so she was a half sister by a different mother, and it was acceptable in this situation, in this instance. So she was his half sister, but not in the incest way. So he asked her to do that. And verse 12, and it came to pass when the Egyptians shall see that, they shall say, this is his wife, and they will kill me, but thee they will keep alive. Say, I pray thee, thou sister, that it may be well with you, that for thy sake and for my soul may live because of thee. Verse 14, and it came to pass that when Abraham was come to Egypt, the Egyptians beheld the woman that she was very fair. And the prince of Pharaoh saw her and praised her to Pharaoh, and the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. And he dealt well with Abram for her sake. And he had slept and oxen, he had sheep and oxen, and he asses and manservants and manservants, and she asses and camels. So because he thought that that was her brother, he basically blessed him, gave him all type of stuff, treated him like royalty. And Yah plagued Pharaoh and his house with a great plague because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. So we see Yah wasn't with that. So Yah cursed him, get away from her. Don't even think about it. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, what is this that thou hast done to me? Why dost thou not tell me that this was thy wife? Why sayest thou, she is my sister, so that I take her to be my wife? Now therefore, behold, thy wife, take her and go away. The plagues are so bad. This is how the plagues gonna hit America. It's gonna be so bad. They're gonna be like, look, please just get these people. Y'all is tearing us up so bad. We do not want them no more. Look, we're freeing them. We're giving them reparations, whatever they want. This is how it's gonna go down in our situation. Verse 20. And Pharaoh gave men charge concerning him, and they brought him on the way, and his wife, and all that he had. So, this was significant because a lot of us go through this situation as well. If you have a beautiful woman and you go out and about, certain type of situations happen because of the wickedness of other men. Maybe not exactly like this, but you know the feeling. So we see these type of situations. We see Abraham's personality, and you see how Abraham tried to deal with that situation. So we start to see some of these things. We starting to see these stories and how Abraham operated. Why did the Most High call him his friend? What is the things that he did that y'all consider righteous? Because any of these things that you find unrighteous, you got to check yourself and what you think is righteous, because the Most High called this individual his friend. So you got to keep that in mind as well. Um, Now we're going to go, let's see where we was at. Verse 12, okay. Cool. So we're going to go verse 13. We're going to go chapter 13, verse 5. Genesis chapter 13, verse 5. Let's try there. Genesis chapter 13, verse 5. And Lot also who went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents, and the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together. So their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together. And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abraham's cattle and the herdmen of Lot's cattle. And the Canaanites and the Perizzites dwelt then in the land. And Abraham said to Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between the herdmen and thy herdmen, for we are brethren. You see how Abraham handles this situation? He said, look, let's put this to the side. We brethren, we can't be doing all this. The mentality of Abraham. Verse 9, is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right. Or if thou take the right hand, I will go to the left. He letting them know, look, all this land, I'm giving you the choice. This is how Abraham was. This is how humble he was. He didn't even take the first dibs. He gave it to his cousin. My cousin. Look, I don't even want no problems. To let you know I don't want no problems, take whatever you want. If you want all this, I'll go over there. This is the mentality of Abraham. Verse 10, and Lot lifted up his eyes, and behold, all the plains of the Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere, before Yah destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, like the garden of Lord, like the garden of Yah, like the land of Egypt, as thou goest unto Zoar. So Lot chose him all the plains of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves the one from another. Abraham dwelt in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelt in the city of the plain, and moved his tents as far as Sodom. So we see in this situation, we see that the mentality of Abraham was, he saw that it was bickering, and it was so many people and not enough space. So he said, you know what, cuz, I'm gonna let you choose what you want. If you go over there, I'm gonna go over here. But please don't let us fight for we brethren. Lot chose what he wanted. He chose what he wanted, and they went in peace. This is how we got to handle all the situations. It might be a brother. It might be a brother in the community that believes something different from me. Let us not fight with brethren. I'm gonna go my way. You go your way. Let that be a lesson to everyone. Let us not fight because we are brethren. You go your way, I go my way, in peace. And maybe we'll meet back up when I got a better understanding, or when you got a better understanding. You understand? So after this, we see this is leading up to a Sodom and Gomorrah situation. Let's just go back in. This is leading to the Sodom and Gomorrah situation. Let's go back in. Now, verse 13. Now the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners against Yah exceedingly. So this wasn't a regular place. They was wicked and sinners against Yah exceedingly. Verse 14. And Yah said unto Abram, as that Lot was separated from him, lift up now thine eyes and look from the place where thou art, northward and southward and eastward and westward, for all the lands which thou seest, to thy will I give it, and to thy seed forever. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if any man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. Listen, the Most High say, if you can, let me ask you, yeah, everybody who watching me, if you can count, I want you to understand this right now. The Most High said our people are going to be so many in numbers. The only way to be able to number us is if you can number sand. If you can number all the sand, you can number us. Very difficult. A lot of people. Verse 17, arise, walk through the land of in the length of it and in the breadth of it, for unto thee will I give it. And Abram moved his tent and came and dwelt in the so we see here that he's promising that he's going to bless us, make our seed like the sand of the sea. He also let him know about Sodom. The men of Sodom were where Lot resided. So this information was very important. We're gonna go verse 13. We're gonna go to chapter 13. We're gonna go 5. Wait a minute. Let me continue. Actually, let me continue. And let me just say this. So Yah warned Abraham about the situation with Lot. Living in the midst of the Sodom and Gomorrah, the people that sinned against Yah exceedingly. If don't birds of a feather flock together. Don't be hanging around these enemies of Yah. This keep a council of righteous people. It's important to keep a council of righteous people around you guys. Elohim assured Abram that his own biological heir will inherit the land. This is not about a spiritual Israelite. This is not about these heathens and foreigners. This is about our people. Y'all dealing with our people. We're the witness. We got the promises. Abraham is our father. Yeah, when you look at Ishmael, moving forward to that, Ishmael was not the seed of the promise, and we'll get to that. So this is just an example of how all of us come from Abraham, but the chosen seed comes through Abraham. Every seed is not chosen. And people got that confused. You need to understand who you are, and you need to understand who the chosen seed is. It's very important. That way you know what part of this that you play. And we see that from the situation with Sodom and Gomorrah, we see what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah. It get destroyed. Y'all destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Why? Because of homosexuality. Same thing going on now. Now, you running around in your pride parade, Y'all hate pride. And not just the pride as in the gay festival. Y'all hate the principle pride. People who have pride, y'all hate that. So and it's I find it very interesting that you guys named a gay parade pride, knowing that y'all hate pride. I found that very interesting. You know, y'all sent angels to Sodom and Gomorrah. These angels look like men because the men of the town wanted to rape them. No one knew that these guys were angels. These guys were angels. All angels don't look like the typical thing that you thought an angel would look like. Some angels look like us because for the whole town to want to rape these angels, they must have thought they were just regular men. This is evidence to show us stuff like this. Some of these messages look like regular men. Uh, um, the Most High warned Abraham and his family when the destruction is coming, just run and don't look back. Lot's wife looked back. Looking back was physical and spiritual. Physical, as in turn your head back, you die. Spiritual, as in I go back to my old ways. I resort back. Both bad. They get out of there. Y'all destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. And tell me right now, has it been repaired? Tell me one thing that y'all destroyed that's been repaired. Oh wait. So he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah is out of there. Just like America. Exceedingly wickedness. Exceedingly wicked. These people are exceedingly wicked. So after they destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, Slovakia. And at this age, Abram was 99. 99 years old. Sometimes we have to be patient. You never know when your time is called to do the work of Yah. And work can be many things. Just be prepared. Come. Let's go Genesis chapter 18. We're going to go Genesis chapter 18. We're going to go Genesis chapter 18, verse 20. No. Give me a second. Genesis chapter 19. Let's try that one. 19 and 24. This is when Yah rained brimstone on Sodom and Gomorrah. A lot of our weapons come from heaven. A lot of our weapons are insects. Simple things like a swarm of flies can destroy a whole defense system. The whole defense system gone because some harmless flies. A lot of them. Then we see Yah promised to see, but see, this is very significant here. We see all the stuff that he's going through. He's an old man. Now keep in mind, the Most High promised all of these promises to the descendants, and he didn't even have a child yet. And he was already, and he think about it, he's in his 80s, going into his 90s. This is why Sarah said, "Take Hagar and have a baby," because his old age will have you not thinking that it was gonna happen, but it did happen. He had Ishmael. Ishmael became the father of the Arabs, all the Arab nations, and became great. But the promise was with the baby that was born by his wife, Isaac. So all of this was going through Isaac. It wasn't going through Ishmael. Ishmael got put out the house and left with limited information for Abraham. Abraham loved Ishmael, but Yah already gave the instructions. And Abraham was called a friend because he did everything Yah told him. He didn't do no talking back. It was a situation where Abraham, well, Yah tests Abraham to see his loyalty. The test was, he told him, "I want you to sacrifice your son, your only son." He gave him the time, gave him the location. Abraham woke up early in the morning and was about to do it, and the angel had to stop him. This is why Yah consider him his friend. Because Abraham, he didn't withhold nothing from Yah. Everything that Yah had, he gave willingly. So this is information. If you want to be a friend of Yah, then you need to be giving everything up. Everything. Everything that's most important to you. Like the situation with Cain and Abel. Why do you think Cain got in trouble? Because the gift that he presented wasn't worth nothing. Like they say it's a thought to count. I said, what were you thinking about? So it was that type of situation. Y'all don't accept everything. So when you present things, present your best. Abraham, the best that Abraham possessed was Isaac. He was ready to give it back to y'all. This is what's required. This stuff is required. Con. Let me find the scripture real fast. So we see that he had Isaac. He had one of his sons that was going to go on to be one of the progenitors and lead, keep the family going and do all the purposes of Yah. Yah put this thing together. Excuse me. Yah put this thing together for sure. Yah put it together, so Yah's not a liar. We know Yah's not a liar. So everything that Yah says is going to happen. It doesn't matter if you a 90-year-old man, you still have a child if that's what Yah wants. This is a principle that we need to understand too. Yahweh or the highway. That's how this works. Let me follow in the timeline, guys. Now he got Isaac already. So he fulfilled his purpose. Because all of us have a purpose to fulfill. And once we're done with our purpose, we go back to Yah. He completed his purpose. He did a great job. all of Abraham's obedience is rewarded. You know, when he was about to kill his son and sacrifice, the Most High had an angel stop him, and he provided him an animal to sacrifice. So it wasn't about killing his son; it was about the obedience. It was about, um, being completely obedient to Yah and giving your best gift to Yah and not withholding anything from Yah. That's what it's about. Uh, this story, it deserves a lot. Abraham is very important in our people, and this story is going to be very edifying for a lot of people because a lot of this stuff is principles as well. It's a story, of course, but it's a principle within the story. If you learn and get it, it's going to be very beneficial to you. So we see some of the things that Abraham do to be called a friend of Yah, for Yah to call him a friend. We see when he was born. We see his famines. He get pushed to Egypt. We see the Most High make promises. Your children are gonna be like the sand of the sea. We see that the Most High is dealing with him. We see that he have a child in old age as well. He do a lot in old age. We see how he treat his family as well. Look how he treat Yah a lot with respect and honor. And a lot of times he gave him first dibs of the best of everything. This is how he treated his family. So it's very important that you keep a righteous counsel. They say birds of a feather flock together. You have to stay around people that's locked into the law, statutes, and commandments. That way you won't be tricked. And this happened when he was 100 years old. Elohim, Yah fulfills his promise to Abram and Sarah by giving them a child of the promise, Isaac. This was the child of the promise. Genesis 21, 1-5, Hagar and Ishmael. Hagar is the mom of Ishmael. This is a handmaid. They had, the Most High blessed Ishmael, made him great nation. But as far as the promise is through Isaac. So we see that Abraham, he did all things according to the law, statutes, and commandments. This is what makes you upright. This is what makes you be looked at as a friend similar to Abraham. These are the actions. You really have to be standing on business for Yah. It's very important that we stand on this truth. Because you have to be really upright for the Most High to call you friend. So this has been an episode of Word of Mouth. A look at Abraham, the father of us all. Just a closer look at Abraham to try to pattern ourselves off after these great men. Why did the Most High call him friend? What did he do to make the Most High say he a friend? And you see these stories. And we have decisions in our life that's similar. You know, we have an opportunity to be pleasing to the Most High, to be upright to the Most High. All the decisions that we make on our daily. Did you help this person? Did you hurt this person? Did you uplift your people? Did you uplift your family? Did you honor your mother and father? You know what I mean? All of these things, you know. So, and notice Abraham did this at a young. He started at 75 years old. So just because something ain't happened doesn't mean it's not going to happen. He had his first kid when he was 90 something. You know, if you give up, then you'll never have a chance to succeed. So um, take these lessons and take these principles and apply them to your life. You know, be like Abraham. Always keep the law, statutes, and commandments because it's going to make you better. You know, look into these principles to increase your life. And I pray that the Most High will give you the knowledge, wisdom, understanding to hold fast with this information. So until next time, everybody keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Shalom.